Greetings and welcome to another video. It's the early hours of Sunday, 8th of December 2024, and yesterday, on Saturday, I basically stayed home all day because of the bad weather we've got going on over Telford right now. A big massive storm flying over Telford. It's been here all day so far, and yeah, because of that, didn't really go anywhere. Well, went into Dawley High Street to the local Tesco to get some food shopping done, and I also got my laundry sorted. But beyond that, I took today as an opportunity to go through my books, basically. I started reading one of my Star Trek books, which I'll talk about in another video, but I've taken a look at another book I've got, which is really interesting for anyone who wants to learn more about the history of Wellington, or maybe wants to learn something about the pub trade and the history of pubs in Wellington. Or maybe you just have another connection going on. In either case, when it comes to local history, this is definitely, in my opinion, a good book worth looking into. And the book in question is Pubs and Hotels of Wellington, Shropshire by Allan Frost. So yeah, I'm just going to read to you what it says on the back. We've got a section about the book itself and another section about the author, Allan Frost. So with that in mind, let's crack on and see what we can expect from this book. This collection of archive images, many never before published, tells the stories behind over 100 public houses and hotels in the medieval market town of Wellington, now absorbed into the Telford conurbation in Shropshire, England. Entertaining and informative, this book explains the origin of names on pub signs and provides important detail regarding hotel locations, owners, licensee holders, and changes of name, together with a wealth of additional information revealed in a perceptive commentary. After decades of scrutinizing old newspapers, sale particulars, census returns, tithe appointments, trade, town and county directories, private deeds and estate records, as well as collecting maps, plans, drawings, photographs and personal memories, the author has produced the most detailed book ever written about these socially and culturally vital amenities. Only a quarter of the beer houses, inns, pubs, taverns and hotels, including temperance, listed here survive. A few new ones have been created in recent years. Some last poured a pint over 200 years ago, while others gave up the struggle for survival because of changes in legislation, ownership and management. Many folk will remember Slaney's Vaults, Duke of Wellington, Black Horse and Nelson, but nobody living today will have called in at the Cow, Fox, Market Tavern or Cross Guns, let alone know when they existed or where they once stood. Pubs and Hotels of Wellington, Shropshire, contains a wealth of information of lasting interest to present and former townsfolk, to local historians and pub goers, as well as anyone, including family history researchers whose ancestors were engaged in the licensed trade. So yeah, that was a bit about the book and what to expect in here. About the author, Allan Frost. Allan Frost was born and grew up in Wellington. His family has lived in this part of Shropshire for well over 250 years. surviving attempts to destroy themselves by mining explosion, bakery fire, Dad's army munitions, and so on, which may explain why he is driven to discover more about the area's past and to preserve those findings in a series of popular histories before it's too late. He has published many other books, including novels, and gives talks to clubs, societies, and schools. Founder chairman of the Wellington History Group and editor of its magazine, Wellingtonia, his advice on matters on local history and heritage is sought by other researchers, local government organisations, community groups, and the press. And so, yeah, like I said, this is a really good book to dip in and out of. It's a bit like a directory, basically. If I can show you kind of an example of a format, it gives you the name of a pub in question and goes on to give you like a history of the specific pub in question, its location, managers, owners, a brief history. And it goes on with, where appropriate, photos, maps, any famous names attached to the place. And yeah, you can dip in and out of this book as you wish. You can read it. Okay, never mind that bookmark falling out the book. You can read it in sections, or you can read it cover to cover. It's quite flexible how you can end up reading this book. But there was one particular entry in this book which I wanted to focus in on, and here we are. Because one of my favourite pubs in Wellington no longer exists, and the pub in question is the Haygate, located on Haygate Road in Wellington. And yeah, there's an entry here about that pub. Here we are. And I'd just like to read what this book says about the Haygate. So yeah. Haygate Road, previously known as Cemetery Road, is where you'd find the Haygate pub. Taking its name from the road leading to what was once the medieval gateway into the hay, fenced-off deer park of the Royal Forest of Wrekin, the Haygate Hotel was erected on land previously occupied by the Bull, or Bull's Head Inn, and a few neighbouring properties which were demolished in 1936. The Haygate Hotel was built for the Wrekin Brewery in 1937 by local builder Alfred Roper, whose yard lay for decades at the junction of Wrekin Road and Walker Street. The hotel was officially opened in 1938 when the licensee was Henry Walker. Mr. Faraday was publican in 1950 and Alfred Barrett in the mid-1960s. The Wrekin Brewery retained ownership until the takeover by Greenall Whitley in 1966, after which Wem Ales replaced Wrekin Ales. Devonports were supplying ales here by the late 1980s. Jerry Charrington was publican there in the 1970s and early 1980s, and Dave Wagner in the late 1980s. Internal alterations were made in 1964 to cater for changing needs. The former smokeroom and the lounge became a single large lounge with a new bar. The name of the hotel was changed to Watling Tower in 1992, apparently in the mistaken belief that a new name implies improved service and better customer expectations. It was a waste of effort, and the Haygate name was subsequently restored, albeit in the format the Haygate. Tina Saxon became tenant of its now privately owned hotellery in 2003. Since then, and apart from providing opportunities for people to play pool, the Haygate has become a leading venue for rock bands and in 2009 introduced an annual cider and music festival to attract patronage. The pub also began selling real ales at around the same time in response to customer requests. Most, if not all, guest ales are supplied by local breweries. Um, so yeah, I think I turned 18, something like 1997, 1998 maybe. And I was attending New College in Wellington at the time. Now, I never really went to the Haygate pub back then. In the late 1990s, early 2000s, because it didn't occur to me to go. I never really thought about going. Or, at least if I did go, it was only once, maybe twice. And, well, it's been such a long time since then, I don't really remember going there. However, in 2010, 2011, I moved back to Telford after spending a few years living in Chichester in West Sussex. And when I came back to Telford, I'd catch up with old friends, and we'd go to the Haygate fairly often. And we'd go around Wellington, have a few beers at different pubs. Pardon me, sorry. Yeah, but I'd meet a couple of friends every so often in Wellington, go around a few pubs, have a few beers, and sooner or later we'd end up at the Haygate. And I've got some really good memories, some really, really good memories of spending time at the Haygate pub. The staff were good, friendly people. The other customers we'd meet, didn't matter if it was a group of total strangers or if I happened to know those people from, well, some way, somehow. In either case, it was always a friendly atmosphere. I really enjoyed going to Haygate. I remember for my 30th birthday, I pulled together some friends to go for a few drinks in Wellington. And yeah, my 30th birthday, we ended up at the Haygate pub. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Definitely one of my favourite pubs in all of Telford. And definitely for sure, a favourite pub in Wellington itself. Unfortunately, the Haygate pub doesn't exist anymore. The owners thought it was time to retire, and that's fine, no problem with that. But they sold the Haygate pub to property developers, and those property developers have since demolished the Haygate pub, which is, well, unfortunate and annoying, if we're being polite about it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the Haygate. I think a lot of people are gonna miss the Haygate as well. So I sometimes still talk with friends about the Haygate pub, and yeah, still some fun memories going on. Still some good memories of Haygate. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I just wanted to talk about this pub. Sorry, I wanted to talk about this book. Really interesting book. There's a lot of honestly interesting locations being talked about in this. And like I said, if you've got any kind of interest in local history or any kind of interest about Wellington or the pubs of Wellington, or even if it's just a bit of fun, in either case, I picked this book up from Waterstones, and yeah, definitely worth the effort in my opinion. It does not matter how you go about reading this book. You can read it section by section, piece by piece, or you can go however you want with this book. Definitely worth your opinion. Definitely worth the effort, in my opinion. So yeah. On that note, I'm going to finish this video here. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate everyone for watching this video. Thank you. So yeah, take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Take care and goodbye.